you and a lot of Niner fans really, really believe in Jimmy Garoppolo. Like, I mean, you got that tattooed on you. I mean, there's something inspirational about him that like transcends football. There is something about Jimmy that is easy to follow. He's a natural leader. There's something about him. And if he were the quarterback right now and he were healthy and all the players that are coming back, I think Niner fans would be like really confident. All over Twitter, like, watch out, here we come. No one wants to face us. But Jimmy's not there. It's Mullens. And I think there's something about Mullens that Niner fans are really apprehensive about. And that's like putting it mildly. I think a lot of Niner fans like can't stand him. And I'm not saying you can't stand him, but there is just a different level of confidence that one produces than the other. And I mean, part of it could be the win-loss record. I mean, Jimmy's got a really great record and Nick doesn't.
Yeah.
What else? Are there other things? Because usually in things like this, it's a lot of things.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so this is something I was just first off, I have nothing against Nick Mullens. I think that, when he came out and he had that game that he tied Montana's record and everything, I was like, wow, look at this kid go. And I resonate with him a lot because I feel like he has so much pressure on him. And we've all been there. We've all been that person that has been called up to fill in for somebody, whatever it means with our job, with sports, with whatever. We've all been the Nick Mullens. And some of us rise to the occasion and have that confidence and some of us don't. And I think some of it does come down to not the wins, but the games that you play in. And so, and even the games that you sit behind and watch. And so I look at Jimmy Garoppolo, and when he came into the 49ers organization, he was coming from watching Tom Brady. He sat behind Tom Brady. He came in and he was supposed to be our savior, our warrior, our everything. And then that season that he was our first starter, he went out in week 3, gone, right? And so then it was this flip-flop mashup of Nick Mullens, CJ Beathard, whatever, right? Like nearly Kyle Shanahan getting in there. We didn't know what was going on that season. It was not a good season. And so that was not a confidence-building season for Nick Mullens. He had that game against the Raiders. He was pumped up afterwards, whatever. But it wasn't a consistent feeling of confidence. And I feel that Jimmy, once he got back from his injury, when he finally got out there and he was fully healthy, look at what happened. After that 8-0 run, it was 8-0. How's it feel? Aaron Andrews on the sideline. Feels great, baby. And it did feel great. And it looked great. And he was smiling. And we've talked about his smile a lot. We have. So I don't think that Nick Mullens has been set up in the same way that Jimmy Garoppolo was. Now, I'm not saying that Nick Mullens needs to get the start somewhere and he needs to be injured and all that needs to happen in order for him to go on a run like Jimmy did. I'm just saying that when you have to overcome some kind of adversity like that, when you have to step onto the field and prove to everybody, look, I know I was injured last year, but now I'm really going to take this team and I'm going to put it on my back. He did do that. And I know it wasn't just Jimmy Garoppolo, but Nick Mullens hasn't had that chance to do that. He got tossed in there after potentially thinking, I'm not going to play all season, right? So that's a lot of pressure to handle. And he's going through the motions right now. He's, figuring out what strengths he has with certain players. And now that certain players are coming back onto the field, he will begin to gain that confidence. And I do think that we'll see, not a Jimmy Garoppolo out there, but we'll see a version of Nick Mullens that we're proud to call as our starting quarterback this year.
You mentioned the injury. That's an interesting factor. The sympathy about his injuries and his rehab. He's missed a lot of time. I hadn't factored that in. I think that is part of it. Niner fans empathize with Jimmy. He's been hurt and he came back, and he has shown toughness. He's played injured. He's gone through a lot. Easy to rally behind that and root for it. Also, you mentioned his smile. I think there's something about he's likable. He's good looking. He's positive. He's humble. He's just charming. He's just so charming. And not that Nick Mullens isn't, but he's like the kind of guy that you would root for, like class president, or you just want him to be the face of everything, right? Yeah. He's terrific. But when I think about, here's the thing. You're right. He did go on that incredible. He went 13-3 last year in 2019. And Nick Mullens has never done that. But when I look, I still feel like kind of the stars aligned for Jimmy. And it's not just that he was great and healthy, but so was Debo. So was Kittle for the most part. So was Mostert. So were his weapons. And I think that really, this is how I feel. You don't have to feel this way. I'm in the minority here. But I feel like basically Jimmy Garoppolo and Nick Mullens are both as good as their weapons around them. And if you take weapons away, they struggle. If you take offensive linemen away, it affects them. And in 2019 was legendary for Jimmy Garoppolo. In 2020, starting with the playoffs up and through this year and the injuries and stuff, he's been pretty okay.
Yeah.
And, I think he's been kind of like Nick Mullens too. And to me, they both have excuses, offensive line has let him down. Weapons have been in and out. It's been a crazy year. To me, there's so many reasons to be confident in this stretch run. And I can list them off. Robert Saleh, Kyle Shanahan, the best coaching staff in the NFC, Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, Fred Warner, Richard Sherman, Jason. There's a lot of reasons to think that this team can go on a run. And I think when there's skepticism, it always comes back to little Nick Mullens and that little puffy face sticking out of that helmet. And you're like, there's no way this guy can. There's no way. There's no way he can do it. And I think it's kind of like, I don't know if it's cognitive dissonance or our eyes are playing tricks on us, but Niner fans look at Jimmy and see Jesus Christ. And they look at Nick Mullens and see like, I don't know what it is they see. They see like
the little version of in Space Jam, the little Monstars before they become the Monstars. That's what Nick Mullens is.
Yeah, like without the powers.
Yeah.
Without the powers. It's like, I don't think it's going to work, guys. I don't know. I mean, I think that's what it is. Okay, so it always comes back to Mullens. So I still go back to if he could just grow a beard, a big beard. I think Niner fans would like him more.
Get a tan, get some
or
nice
a tattoo.
Going on.
What if he gets a tattoo? A face tattoo right on his face.
Maybe not a face, maybe a neck one. We'll start small. We still want him to get a job down the road if this starting thing doesn't end up anything.
Hey, if he takes his team to the playoffs, someone's going to want him. I'm telling you, Niner fans can't stand Nick Mullens. And a lot of Niner fans can't stand Jimmy Garoppolo.
I know.
Niner fans have the highest. You're kind of new to the team in the sense of the last 10 years, but the 80s and 90s, the highest standard for quarterbacks, I don't think Niner fans will ever be really satisfied until it's never going to be sad. I mean, with Steve Young, they were like, you're just not as good as Joe, buddy. Sorry.
That's
okay, I have a bonus question for you, and you're not ready for this. So you haven't been prepped for this question. This is going to be an honest answer. Look, Nick Mullens is a backup quarterback who just beat the Rams. That's cool. If he leads this team to the playoffs, that would be more than cool. That would be pretty freaking cool. And my question would be, if he does lead this team to the playoffs, will you get a tattoo to commemorate?
Oh, 100%. 100%. As soon as you were going down this road a little bit, I heard these words and I'm like, I know he's going the tattoo route. You know what? I'm the type, I have 9 tattoos. I am the type that if a tattoo signifies something meaningful to me in my life. So last year, it wasn't just the whole Jimmy Garoppolo, I love him, look at him, he's a babe, whatever. I'm going to get this feels great tattoo on me. I got the tattoo after the season. I got it after they lost in the Super Bowl. So that is true.
And it has deep meaning. And if she wrote a whole 1,500 word essay, that was wonderful. She is a fantastic creative writer, by the way. Google it. It's really good.
Thank you.
Anyway, keep going.
Spider-Man Jimmy, just a little plug.
Spider-Man Jimmy. Wasn't that your first one? That was your debut.
That was my debut.
You should be proud of that one. Yeah, keep going.
And so that tattoo just meant to me that what it meant to feel like to have a winning season and this incredible feeling to be a part of the fandom again. And I don't think I ever felt that as a 49ers fan, other than the Harbaugh Bowl year where, obviously that didn't end the way we wanted either. But last season, was the first season I actually felt alive following a team in any sport. And so that tattoo meant so much to me. And looking at this year, it's obviously very different. We're not going undefeated. We're not having, we're having that roller coaster season. We have somebody like Nick Mullens who has the potential to be this monster that we see, grow that beard, but he's this little shrivelly guy right now. And he gets out there. And yes, I think that look at what he did in last game. He had that final drive and he brought the guys down the field and he set up that goal for Robbie Gould. Robbie Gould could not have made that kick if it wasn't for Nick Mullens. So you have to give him some credit. It is there. And if that guy can get us to the Super Bowl, not the Super Bowl, the playoffs that potentially lead to the Super Bowl, and then maybe Jimmy gets back in, maybe not, I don't know. But if he can do that, hell yeah, I'm going to get a tattoo to commemorate it. I don't know what it's going to be yet, but we'll figure it out.
Okay, fair enough. Hey, look, you're a good sport. You don't have to, I'm not holding you to that, but if you feel inclined, go for it.
I will.